Today is October 21st, 2017. It is 11:50 a.m. This is Brittany Dellinger representing the City of Savannah's Research Library and Municipal Archives. I am interviewing Chip Welch for the City of Savannah's Ardmore History Roundup Day project. We are conducting this interview at the historic Gould Cottage, now part of the Haversham School. Today we will be discussing the history of the Ardmore neighborhood and the surrounding community. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Welch.
Thank you.
Let's start by having you tell us your full name.
Charles Ashley Welch.
When were you born?
I was born 1974, September 4th.
Where were you born?
Here in Savannah.
Where did you grow up?
Kensington Park, just down the street.
Where do you live now?
Live on Whitmarsh Island.
What is your address?
It is 12 Longfield Court.
Have you heard of Ardmore?
I had not heard the name Ardmore.
Have you ever lived in this neighborhood?
I have lived in this neighborhood for 6.5 years.
What was the house that you lived in?
It was 122 East 64th Street.
Do you know any history about your house?
All I know is it was built by the shipbuilders in the 1950s. So it was a well-constructed home.
Who are some of the important leaders or prominent citizens in the neighborhood?
So for current leaders,
At any time.
I don't know that I have a knowledge of that. I can talk a little bit about the Gould family.
Do that, yeah.
So the building we're in, where the Haversham School exists, was constructed by the Gould family, who were a very wealthy family from New York State. They made their money in railroad, and one of their sons, Edwin, was a very philanthropic young man. So he invested heavily in the Ardmore area, in particular this cottage, which was built for young girls that were orphans for their education. So I think his legacy has lingered.
Did any significant events take place in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't have a knowledge of that history.
Maybe I can jump in a little bit. Okay, so, and I'm gonna state who I am for the record. I'm Luciana Spraker. I'm the director of the Library and Archive. So let's just speak a little bit about the Gould family. When did they build the Gould Cottage?
I believe the Gould Cottage was constructed in the 1920s, late 1920s. So it was a just after turn of the century effort by the family.
Do you know why they chose Savannah?
To my knowledge, they chose Savannah based on some contacts that the Gould family developed during their years at Jekyll Island. They were friends with the Vanderbilts and some of those, the Rockefellers, some of those wealthy families that vacation on Jekyll Island. So through those connections, they learned about some of the plight of some of the young girls here in Savannah. And the son, Edwin Gould, wanted to do something about it. So he donated this land and the resources to get this site built.
And was the cottage here before the park, or a whole park before the cottage?
My knowledge is that the cottage was here after the park was built. So some of the earliest photographs, you can see the park in the background with the children that were part of the orphanage playing in the front lawn of Gould Cottage.
So they would do you think they made use of the park?
That would be my assumption. We do now as a school make use of the park. It's a beautiful situation to have a city park right across the street from your school, the laughter of children.
So which would lead me into my next question. You are president of the Haversham School?
I am.
Okay, so could you speak some to how the Haversham School came to be at the Gould Cottage?
Sure. So at the heart of our mission as a school is the idea of restoration. We've watched what Savannah College of Art and Design has done for years here in the community. Being a native Savannian myself, I've certainly appreciated the Historic Society and how the great heritage and history of our city architecturally has been preserved. So when we began as a school just 6 years ago, we rented out space at a church on Willington Island, which was a quite a distance from where most of our families were. And when the opportunity came to our knowledge to purchase the Gould Cottage, it was a no-brainer for us. It was a great location for the school, gave us a chance to be a part of the neighborhood, but most importantly, gave us a chance to restore a building to its former glory and use it for a good purpose, which it originally was built to do, which was serve children. So
I'm going to turn it back over to Brittany, see if she has some more questions.
Anything else you would like to share with us about Ardmore?
this is a very active neighborhood. So through all the many years it's been around, it always seems to have a high level of neighborhood involvement. The park system is unique and certainly has maintained, I think, a sense of strong community. So it's a place where you see folks walking dogs, throwing frisbees, children playing in the parks throughout the neighborhood. A lot of front porches, which is neat to the architecture. So a lot of neighborly interaction from front porches. So just a really special area, I would think, anywhere in the country, much less in the city of Savannah.
Thank you for sharing your memories of Ardmore and Savannah with us today.
Thank you.